Hi everyone, I wanted to change angle so I could have a halo behind me this week. Pretty good to be the angel that I am, heel-eyed, because there's been a lot more chat this week about purchases disappearing, particularly if you've bought them from Amazon, but also other services. If you buy a film and it goes away, companies are quite happy to remind you that the purchase doesn't mean you own that property. It is just on the basis of a limited time deal to do with rights and availability. Same thing is happening with games. Some games company people are quite happy to say purchase no longer means ownership, and that means that people have quickly jumped on the fact that if purchase doesn't mean ownership, then piracy isn't theft. Now, I pretty much agree with some of that sentiment. There are people to support in all of the arts, and obviously I mainly talk about film, but you know, I have watched stuff for the podcast, for the blog, for other reasons that I don't own. I own about 5,000 movies. I had those movies in previous incarnations, whether I've upgraded to Blu-ray from DVD or whether I had another edition of that DVD. I used to have about 1,200 DVDs when I separated from an ex-partner, and they managed to keep them well preserved for me, and I got those again, but I was rebuilding again. Before DVDs, I had videos, and I probably had a couple of different sets of video collections because they took up space, they took up time, it took money to acquire them. I have easily paid for whatever I have now, I would say at least 2 or 3 times over. So that doesn't include my digital purchases, because I have quite a few. I have about 600 plus movies on the Apple, the iTunes account now, and I stream from at the minute we've got another free trial for Apple TV Plus. I've got Mubi. I love Mubi. I figured out the Criterion way. I used a VPN to get Criterion. Still not available here in the UK. Netflix we have. Prime at the moment, although that may be going the way of the dodo, because I think it's ridiculous that they're bringing in the adverts for the standard tier. Disney Plus also have Arrow Player and Shudder, and for some reason I keep thinking there's one more. That's a lot. That's a lot of content. That's a lot of movies I'm happy to pay for. But if what I am looking for isn't available on any of those platforms, or I don't own it, I'm also happy to look around and find it elsewhere. I'm not on about stuff that's new at the cinema. I'm just on about in general, because we've taken 2 steps forward and 4 steps back. So that's the way of it. So, it's been a dialogue for a long time, and I don't like people who are quite brazen about, I've just seen the new Star Wars and I didn't pay for it, whatever. I think there's a level of respect you should always have for the artists and the people who've pulled together to make a movie. And I think, if possible, if you have the means and you're looking to support films, then you should always preferably buy or rent stuff that you're looking for. But I will say, it's gone way beyond the point of automatically judging someone who has decided to get themselves 1 or 2 freebies, because this whole, purchase isn't ownership thing is BS. On to Brighton news, and I'm going to name drop another couple of podcasts this week. I was listening just today to Dawn of the Dead, who was gushing. Quite surprising and pleasant to hear gushing, but she was on about Eve's Bayou, which is a fantastic film. I think I've mentioned it before. I watched it for the first time last year. Unlike Donna, I don't view it as a horror movie, but there are certain horrifying elements in there, particularly as you dig deeper into the plot and things play out. It's just it's a great film though. If I remember rightly, I may have even given it 10 out of 10. It's a bit of a masterpiece. And Donna, I've forgotten how you pronounce the name. I think she pronounced the name of the director Cassie Lemons. She's fantastic. I want to see more of her stuff, which I haven't. And Donna mentioned a couple of titles in the podcast. So I'll put the link below for that podcast episode. Check out. Really good listen. Donna stayed spoiler free on that one. She just wanted to talk about the movie and get more people onto it. And I agree. That's, it should be one that you seek out and find and love. Just brilliant film. There were two other podcasts I was listening to this week that between them covered the Blair Witch Project and Book of Shadows, the Blair Witch Project too. So that was a lot of fun. That was Shoot the Hostage podcast that I enjoy, and I think it was Final Transmission podcast. I think I've gone blank. Anyway, because of their current season, which is either just ended or ends soon, was on folk horror, the Shoot the Hostage podcast actually made me go out and buy this, and they were discussing The Green Knight, obviously, and I remembered what a beautiful film it is. So I had to get this tasty steelbook. I think it's 4K. I still don't have a 4K player, but the Blu-ray's in there as well. Such a fantastic film. Just, really stunningly beautiful, well acted throughout. So good. And I enjoyed the Shoot the Hostage chat about that. I'll link to that episode below here as well. And I think that's it. I didn't really get anything else this week. I just finished, I think, my third or fourth book of the year, so I'm making progress with my reading this year, and it was the Arnold Be Useful book, the 7 lessons from Arnold. Lesson 1, put the cookie down. But it's okay as far as those things go, but Arnold also loves to tie things to, the achievements of Arnold, and he's done plenty to be proud of, and that's fine. But one thing that did strike me, because I've seen the benefits myself already, is the I'm putting this out there for people it may help this year, whether it's your mental health, your physical health, your financial situation, just time for hobbies and interests. People always set a big goal and they want everything. We're into February now, so if people have started diets at the start of the year, they might fall by the wayside. If they've started going to the gym, that may seem harder and it's easier to just let it slip away. And what Arnold says, and other people advise, is just give yourself smaller targets. If you're looking to get physically fitter, just try, if the weather's fine, just having a 5-10 minute walk a day if you have the time. If you're looking to read more, as I am, just try and make 5-10 minutes a day for a few more pages, rather than as I did last year. I hit my reading target, but there was a lot of comic books in the mix there, and there were times where I didn't read for weeks at a time, and I was getting frustrated because I like to read. I have a big overwhelming pile of stuff to be read. If you're trying to save and you have the means to save, it's those pennies make pounds mantras, but that's really difficult at the moment because of the way all of the prices are going up for everything, and pay isn't shooting up as we'd like it. They say, we can't afford to pay everybody this much because then inflation would go to this much, and you're sitting there at home thinking, well, inflation's already shooting up, so just give me the pay to deal with it. Sorry. Little things like that. If you're looking to increase your movie viewings this year, then hopefully, if you have a busy lifestyle, watch half a movie one evening after dinner, half the next after dinner. You can do so much. I'm also trying to always watch more TV shows because there's a never-ending stream of great TV shows out and about now. and I'm now, I'm going to say, just over halfway through season 2 of For All Mankind, and that's because I've been watching parts of each episode on my lunch break at work, just sitting down, getting it queued up, half an episode, and then the other half episode the next day or later in the evening if I have time. It's been good. So this has allowed my time to feel better used. It's allowed me not to have to drop anything by the wayside, and then weekly videos can still come, usually on Tuesdays now, because Monday seems to be a busy gym night for all the good that does me. So I'm trying. I am, like everyone else, trying all the time. And sometimes you swim smoothly across a lovely sun-kissed lake, and sometimes you're really just frantically paddling so that you can stay close enough to the shoreline while the waves are trying to batter you out into the open sea. That's the way life is, and I hope there are enough people about who will always throw some life buoys around and make sure that we can all float away until we can get back to the shore. Did that make sense? I'm not sure, but still got my halo for now. See you next week.